Hello? Hey, can you give me a push? Not a chance! You just woke me up. It's 3 in the morning. Who was that? Just some guy asking for a push. Are you gonna go help him? No! It's 3 in the morning and it's pouring rain out there. Don't you remember a couple months ago when our vehicle broke down and those guys helped us? Get out there and help them. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're right. Son!
I found a man who is a human calculator.
Hi, I'm Scott Flansburgh, and I'm faster than any calculator on the planet Earth.
He can add numbers faster than he can talk, and he never graduated from high school. How did he learn? It all started in 3rd grade when Scott...
Did you know if you slam 2 Rubik's Cubes together like this, you get a brand new puzzle. But you have to do it very carefully, otherwise you might get something like this. See what I mean? And if you're wondering, yes, these are fully scramblable puzzles. Wait, I think if I change it back to what it was before, there we go. Whew. Do you want to see what happens if I add a 3rd cube? I'll do it if you hit the subscribe button right now. 3, 2, 1. What did I say? The triple Siamese Rubik's Cube.
What teachers think we did over the summer?
I ain't gonna cry too long. I'm back on my drip. Drip my drip, my drip. Right back on my drip. Yeah. I ain't gonna cry too long. I'm back on my drip. Drip my drip, my.
What teachers think?
A nightmare so scary, you die? Is that even possible? Today we're taking a look at a series of deaths throughout history that doctors are still struggling to explain. Let's get started. Whoop. Rodney Marks was a bright, young Australian astrophysicist who remains the only person to potentially have been murdered on the continent of Antarctica. It was spring in the year 2000 when Rodney was working his second stint in Antarctica. He'd been there a couple of years before conducting research and enjoyed the work. He was passionate about his field and was engaged to a woman at the base. He was walking outside between two buildings, a walk you'd want to keep as brief as possible given that the temperature outside in Antarctic winter was around -80 degrees Fahrenheit. He found himself struggling to breathe. Concerned for his health, he rushed to see the research station physician, Dr. Robert Thompson, who was concerned to see the young and otherwise healthy Rodney in distress. He attempted to treat him, but Rodney's condition only worsened. Over the course of just 36 hours, Rodney went from walking between stations to visiting the doctor to hopping on emergency satellite calls with medical professionals around the world. But because Antarctica was heading into its southern hemisphere winter, flights in and out of the base would pause for at least 6 months. Rodney's body was kept in a freezer until flights resumed half a year later, taking him to a medical examiner in New Zealand. The cause of death? Methanol poisoning. Methanol is a non-drinking type of alcohol used for industrial purposes. It's highly poisonous, with as little as 2 ounces being all that's needed to kill an adult. And those who survive are oftentimes left blind. The methanol in Rodney's body most likely came from the cleaning chemicals he used on the telescopes which he operated. So what was methanol doing in Rodney's body? According to the New Zealand pathologist who tested the contents of Rodney's blood, the methanol was virtually certain to have been ingested. Unfortunately, the clarity ends there. Some speculate that Rodney had accidentally consumed the chemical while attempting to brew homicide. Authorities spearheaded a few sentimental years